But I was truly astonished. He came down from above, picked up a racket and started playing to assist. He even shared some valuable tips with Alex. Just picture this, you are a 20-year-old athlete standing inside the Rafa Nadal Academy in Majorca, practicing your serve drills on a clay court after flying across continents to perfect your game. The last time I visited here 2 years ago, it feels wonderful to receive such a warm welcome again. There's a massive Filipino community present, and that has me incredibly excited. Look behind you, there are so many people here. Then without any prior notice or request, the greatest clay court player tennis has ever seen walks straight to your court and begins correcting your serve technique. This was not some imaginary dream sequence. This is exactly what happened to Alex Eala about 3 weeks before she flew to Rome. And this moment matters deeply because exactly 12 months ago, on this very same clay court she's now returning to, Alex Eala could only win a single game throughout the entire match. To truly grasp why Rome 2026 stands as the most crucial tournament in Alex Eala's young career, you just need to look at two key numbers. In March, she reached a career-high ranking of number 29 in the world. Today, she sits at number 41. This 6-week drop was caused almost completely by the loss of points she had earned during last year's historic run to the Miami semifinals. Now look at the other side, she has only 10 ranking points to defend in Rome. Just 10. That means every single match she wins at the Foro Italico starting May 5th will bring her pure, untouched ranking points. That is the clear mathematics, and those numbers have now opened a major opportunity. But here is the tough challenge she must overcome to seize it. Clay has remained the one surface that has given Alex Eala nothing easily. Her 2026 clay court record heading into Rome stands at 1 win and 3 losses. She fell in the first round in Stuttgart to Leila Fernandez with scores of 1-6, 4-6. She was defeated in the second round in Madrid by Elise Mertens 2-6, 1-6, and the shadow hanging over everything is her painful Rome debut. On May 7, 2025, Marta Kostyuk crushed her 6-0, 6-1. The score was so one-sided that even Eala's strongest supporters have tried to erase it from memory over the past 12 months. 3 players who have either beaten her this season or defeated her last season are all confirmed in this Rome draw: Kostyuk, Fernandez, and Mertens. Clay has not simply been another surface for Alex Eala. It has felt like a courtroom judging her, and every judge who ruled against her is back in the same building. So how does a player enter this draw in this city on this surface and still speak with the confidence of a queen arriving at her own coronation? It starts with the people surrounding her. For the 2026 clay season, Eala returned to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Majorca and started working directly with Tony Nadal, the coach who guided his nephew Rafa to 14 Grand Slam titles and all 10 of his Italian Open victories. Read that again. The mastermind behind the most successful clay court career in tennis history is now serving as the clay court expert on Alex Eala's coaching staff. And then there's the moment that still feels unreal until you hear the coach's own words. According to her main coach Joan Bosch in an interview with Tennis Up to Date, he came down to help because he is also a lefty and he gave some tips to Alex. Rafa came down to the court without anyone asking and offered us advice on her serve. It helped a lot. Later he even practiced with Alex. Imagine what that experience means for her confidence. Being at the academy with legends like Carlos Moya also supporting her, for those of us who love tennis, it feels like being at NASA. NASA, that is the exact word her coach used to describe the advanced level of tennis knowledge being built into this 20-year-old's game. Eala herself has spoken about it with a sharp clarity that should worry her opponents. In an interview with Olympicscom on the glorious red carpet, she said, "Clay in general is a little more gritty. It's a little more physical than most of the other surfaces. Anything I can take from Rafa, I'll take with pride." That is not the statement of a player who just wants to survive on clay. That is a player openly declaring her intention to claim it as her own. This brings us to April 20th in Madrid. While most players were either resting or competing in warm-up clay tournaments, Eala walked the Laureus World Sports Awards red carpet in a custom Filipiniana gown designed by her uncle Rajo Laurel. It was made from piña fabric, the most respected traditional textile in the Philippines, and was specially shipped from Manila to Madrid in just a few days. "I've always had a dream that when I'm on a red carpet, I'll wear what's called the Filipiniana. It's a very traditional Filipino formal wear," she told the press. Laureus Sports Awards, it's perfect. The WTA's official Instagram post of her arrival received 78,000 likes and nearly 900 comments. She was not merely a guest at that event. She was one of the main highlights, a 20-year-old Filipina standing among Olympic champions and world record holders, dressed in the traditional fabric of her country, and the entire room turned to look at her. For every fan who has spent the last year convincing friends, family, and doubters that Alex Eala is not just a moment but a full movement, this moment confirmed it through every major global sports institution. Laureus does not invite friends, Laureus invites the future. And that future arrives in the Eternal City this week, carrying the lightest load of pressure she has faced all season. In March, she defended 390 points in Miami. In April, she defended points in Madrid. But in Rome in May, she only has 10 points to defend. The pressure has finally flipped in her favor. Rome is the first major event in months where Eala truly has nothing to lose. If you want to know whether her transformation is genuine, don't ask a hype account. Ask the man who has observed every single swing of her racket since her junior days at the academy. Joan Bosch has been Eala's primary coach since her teenage years. He is the architect who transformed a junior champion into the first Filipina to break into the WTA top 30. He stood beside her in the players' box during that life-changing Miami semifinal. He works daily with Tony Nadal. When Joan Bosch gives a technical evaluation of his own player, he is not promoting a narrative, he is reading a blueprint he personally designed. His assessment, shared with Tennis Up to Date during the Madrid event, was this: clay was where she was more raw and had the most room to grow. Now she is moving much better. She is sliding, which is not easy when it doesn't come naturally. Translate that from coach language into plain terms. The biggest weakness that Marta Kostyuk exposed in Rome 12 months ago, the inability to slide, defend, and build proper clay rallies, is exactly the area Bosch is now saying has been completely rebuilt. The Italian Open starts on May 5th and concludes on May 17th. Roland Garros begins on May 24th. At the French Open, Eala again only has 10 ranking points to defend. Over the next 5 weeks, she has just 20 points total to protect, while the entire upper half of the WTA rankings lies ahead of her like an open highway. Reaching the third round in Rome would mean a net gain in rankings. Making the quarterfinals would push her back close to her career high. A deeper run could bring her within touching distance of the top 32 automatic Grand Slam seeding by the time she steps onto the Paris clay. Beyond the numbers lies something even bigger. A Filipina player trained by the family of the undisputed king of clay, wearing her nation's traditional fabric on the world's most prestigious sports red carpet, now entering a tournament that has long been the private domain of European tennis. This is exactly what the WTA's new global era looks like, and it is unfolding live in front of audiences from Quezon City to Cebu, from Dubai to Dali City. Manny Pacquiao said it in Tagalog on ABS-CBN, "When I watch her, I am so proud of her because of course she is Filipina, we need many more like her. The Philippines has never had a player like this in Rome. Rome has never seen a player carry an entire country onto its clay like this." None of this erases the difficulties of the last 3 weeks. 2 heavy clay court losses that even her fans have found hard to justify. A ranking drop that has been quietly painful to witness. Greg Rusedski, former world number 4 and one of her strongest public supporters, said it directly on his podcast after the Madrid defeat: "Sometimes the scorelines are a problem." But listen to how Eala herself closed that chapter. Hours after leaving the Madrid court, she posted on Instagram, "That's it for Madrid, I'm so grateful for my time here, I will be back stronger." Then she made her choice. She withdrew from the WTA 125 Catalonia Open, the warm-up event she was supposed to play before Rome, and exchanged those possible points for rest, recovery, and complete focus on the main stage. She did not run away. She made a strategic adjustment, she chose Rome. So look at what she is bringing through the gates of the Foro Italico. A coach who describes her training environment as NASA, the direct guidance of Rafael Nadal on her serve, the strategic wisdom of Tony Nadal on her clay game, only 10 ranking points to defend and an entire Filipino nation watching every single point. 12 months ago, this same city gave her just 1 game in 96 minutes. She did not flee from that memory. She chose to walk back in. This is not the story of a player who has already conquered clay. This is the story of a player who has firmly decided to conquer it and has built the perfect team, technique, and mental strength to make that decision last. So here is the question for the comment section, answer honestly. Does Eala make it past the second round in Rome? And if the draw gives her a rematch against Kostyuk, Mertens, or Fernandez, does she finally settle the score this time? Drop your prediction below with the round and expected score. If you have been supporting Eala since before the Miami Miracle, before she reached number 29 and before Laureus, you already know which side you stand on. Subscribe and join the believers who saw this journey coming from the start. Roland Garros is right behind Rome. Wimbledon follows Roland Garros, and those who recognized her path early deserve the best seats to watch the rest of her story unfold. Pull up a chair. The coronation is only just beginning.